Welcome, everyone. Today we have a very special guest with us. She is a talented ventriloquist, actress, author, and comedienne who has captivated audiences across the globe with a unique blend of humor and ventriloquism. Please join me in welcoming the incredible, versatile, and entertaining April Brucker. Hi, April.
Hi. Well, thank you. And you forgot about moi. What
Yep.
does
Hi,
April
May.
say?
Yep. So,
I'm doing. Ask your question. Ask me anything. You sexy piece of Canadian bacon, you.
what's going to happen 100 years from now? You're going to have like the child of May Wilson? Or are you
A
going to be
hundred.
going on 200 years from now? May Wilson is still going strong?
You know it, 'cause I don't age. So don't crinkle. Holla.
Well, we know that April is spark of passion in a small Pennsylvania town to dazzling spotlight of Las Vegas and New York City. April Brooker has mastered the art of captivation, and she has captivated me already. She's a modern Renaissance woman of entertainment, an actress who commands off Broadway stages, a ventriloquist and comedian who packs prestigious venues, a television personality featured on ET and TLC, and an accomplished author. Whether she's on screen, on stage, or on the page, April's dynamic performances and engaging personality tell a powerful story of dedication, proving that a dream honed to perfection can truly take center stage. In a dazzling fusion of vintage soul and modern comedy, the world famous Ink Spots have joined forces with America's leading female ventriloquist, April Brooker, to release a truly one of a kind single. And I love it. It's called That's the Way It Is. I love the song. And
Thank you.
at the end, we're going to play it for everyone. But not
Thank you.
really. I'll just do it at the end when I post it. So
Gotcha. Thank you. And thank you for loving the song. It was such a joy to work with the guys.
you're welcome, May. Now, this groundbreaking collaboration marks the first time an Ink Spots group has recorded with a ventriloquist, adding a fresh twist to their timeless sound. Now, the track features lead singer Pernell Berry in a witty and whimsical duet with Booker's glamorous puppet Mae Wilson, a gold digger with a sharp tongue and a flair for drama. Together, they breathe new life into the group's 1945 classic, originally made famous alongside Ella Fitzgerald, blending smooth harmonies with laugh out loud charm. Hello, April. Welcome
Hello.
back to the show. Last time you were with us, you were episode 237. It was a
Yes,
year
thank
ago,
you.
actually. You're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you. It's been a year. Leigh Wilson here, and I just want to say that now that I've recorded with the Ink Spots, I'm a superstar. Fallout fans, here I come.
This is great. Thank you, April, for being here. Now, before we move on, I know that
What
people are
about
probably
me?
wondering.
What about me,
Yes,
Chris?
May. Yes, sorry. April and May. Yes. April and May. And June's not here tonight, I
You know
guess.
what? June's my sister. We don't
Yeah?
talk. That's not. But Whitney, you have a sister named June. You don't talk. Oh, she's a mine. Wait, your sister's a mine.
Oh.
I didn't know your sister was a mime. Yeah, that's why we don't talk. And she's also an inconsiderate one at that. She picked the hardest word ever for a ventriloquist to say. But May, you only get one sister and you don't live forever. Well, April, we don't have anything in common. You see, I like to think outside of the box, and she likes to be trapped in the box. Oh, I'll be here all week. Try the heel.
Well, April, everyone's so interested in how you met May. What first captivated you about ventriloquism, and who were your biggest comedic influences when developing your unique style?
Well, I first became a ventriloquist when I was 13. I grew up without cable. And when I grew up without cable, I was real popular not. And so when I was 13, my brother was playing football, and my dad finally decided to get cable. So this meant getting all the channels, and my dad hates commercials worse than he hated getting cable. Okay. So he's changing the channel one night, and there's a ventriloquist special. It's an Edgar Bergen tribute. And for those of you that don't know, Edgar Bergen was Candace Bergen's father. And anyway, his partner was Charlie McCarthy. He gave me splinters. Easy, May. This is my interview. Remember we talked about this? Whatever ain't wrong. Well, anyway, all my family members tried to talk like the ventriloquists, and I was the only one that could do it because she had her great grandmother's sideways Irish smile, and she was weird even then. So that Christmas, my mother got me a Groucho Marx puppet, and I continued on. And May, how did we meet? On Craigslist, where all the good things happen.
That's awesome. So, April, reflecting on this is a question for April here, May. So, reflecting on April, your early days in New York City and off Broadway, how did those experiences shape the performer you are today?
Well, I think those experiences not only made me the performer I am today, but the woman I am today, because those early days in New York City could be very hard. I met a lot of people that weren't great to me. I heard no quite a bit. But at the same time, I met a lot of people that were absolutely wonderful to me. I had this voice teacher at NYU, Jean Douglas, who taught at Lee Strasberg, and I had to take singing as an elective, and I did musicals in high school, and I was terrified of singing. And guess what? He made me extremely confident, and he got a kick out of me. And I remember the piano player, Paul. And because of the work they did with me and the confidence that they gave me, when I graduated, I needed a job. And so I became a singing telegrammer, and you need a job to support yourself. And then that got me singing more and more. And then with this one, the last time we spoke, we had a Christmas song called Merry Christmas, I'm So Glad I Didn't Marry You. The last Christmas was, it was played worldwide. We were on a music video show in England. We were on the Kyle and Jackie O show in Australia. Yes, I go down under. The question was for me, May. Remember? I'm so sorry, Chris. Anyway, um, fast forward, we're doing a song with the world famous ink spots. And when it was suggested that May do this song with the guys, and the guys are absolutely wonderful, and the group is led by Pernell Berry. You have
Mhm.
Alan and Eddie Coco Stanzel, who's the lead. He's the leader of the ship. He's the literal captain. And I've always loved the guys, but when it was suggested that I do a single with them rather than May did, I'm like, this is crazy. But here's the thing. Those early days in New York made me so confident, and Jan made me so confident, and I had so many wonderful teachers that made me so confident that I'm like, you know what? This is not crazy. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And look where you are now. You got Mae Wilson, then you have Donald Trump, and then you have Joe Verbaden, whatever his name is.
Biden
But
time, yeah.
Biden
Biden
time.
time.
But you're a really good ventriloquist. I mean, I've seen some pretty good ones. Like there's Jeff Dunham and so many of them. It's awesome. And we had a Canadian guy.
She's not that good. She has a good partner, like moi. But here's the thing. April doesn't need to be confident. When she has the national wait, you can't even talk, mate. No, you can't talk. No, you can't talk. No, you can't talk. As I was saying, she doesn't have to be good when she has the natural talent of moi on her arm. April had to take all these acting and singing lessons. I'm just naturally good. Everybody is blinded by my beauty and my talent, and apparently not your humility, May. I am so sorry, Chris. Go on.
That's fine. I want to before I move on. I actually want to talk about your very, very, very amazing single. That's the way it is with the famous Ink Spots. Now I know that you have joined forces with them, and they're leading female ventriloquist April Brucker. How did you get? I don't want to say hooked up with them. How did you meet them, and that you decided that song would be working out with you?
Well, they saw moi and they said, we need to partner with May Wilson, the fabulous Dosa. Not quite May. There's her version and then there's the truth. The truth is, the way I partnered with the guys was we all have the same manager, Clinton Ford Billups Jr., who is a great guy. They're here in Las Vegas, and I've gotten to know the guys very well. And I've been to their shows. I'm a fan of the music. And both my grandfathers, who were GIs in the Second World War, had their records and loved them. And so when I heard that my manager represented the Ink Spots, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I'd gotten to know the guys and I was like, oh, wouldn't that be cool to do a duet, whatever. And so when I heard That's the Way It Is, I'm like, oh, that's a good song. And my manager, Clinton Ford Billups Jr., says, wouldn't that be good to have a puppet in the ink spots because that's the way it is. They can't be together. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. But the ink spots liked the idea. And I said, of course they like the idea. They're working with an international superstar. So, Chris, tell me the truth. Are you going to go on my beauty right now?
But you never blink.
Well, I know. It's because I'm a doll. Hello. The Bills brothers talked about a paper doll. They went, more. They wrote about me before I even was born. Okay, mate. Easy, easy. See, this is what I got to deal with, the big egos. See? The ego, huge.
Yeah. Well, I like how you put the song together. What was the process like? How did you do it without Mae Wilson going nuts?
How did I do it? Well, the first thing was May and I listened to the original version with the Bill Kenny ink spots. And those are the ink spots from the 30s and 40s into the 50s. And he did a version with Ella Fitzgerald. And that version is so beautiful because Ella Fitzgerald's an icon. She's still one of my favorites. And one thing about me is I love jazz. And when I'm sitting around the house, I'll listen to Ella Fitzgerald because I'm very high strung, as you can see. So I'm always looking for things to even me out. And so I listened to it a bunch of times. And I told May, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to do it right. And I said, of course I'm going to do it right. I'm a star. I only do it on one take. Okay, May, easy, easy. So anyway, I thought I want to do Ella Fitzgerald proud. If Ella Fitzgerald was here, I'd want her to say, "This is wonderful." May, what do you think Ella Fitzgerald would say if she was here? She'd say, "I want brains. I want brains," because Ella Fitzgerald would be a zombie. Duh. You're making a good point. But she'd also say that Mae Wilson is magnificent. I don't know if she'd say that. But anyway, I wanted it to be a version that would do both Bill Kenny and Ella Fitzgerald proud. And also my grandfathers, who were phenomenal Ink Spots fans.
Yeah. And also the lead singer now is Pernell Berry.
Yes.
Were you able to get along with him fine?
I was. What about you, May? Oh, of course. I was able to get along with Cornell. As a matter of fact, when we were recording the music video, he was singing to me like I was real. Yeah, that's right. He was singing to you like you were real. But then he discovered Mae Wilson is real. See, this is what I got to deal with. I'm telling you.
Yeah. When you sent me the files to download that included the MP4 video, that's the way it is. It just disappeared. It totally left my inbox. I couldn't find it. I'm like, oh my God. And so when I found it, it wasn't even in the link that you gave me. I'm thinking, what happened here? Did you have a time limit on it? Because it says September 15th or October or something like that before it's all deleted. And I couldn't find it. So I finally did search and found it. And then I saved it. And I'm like, okay, you're not going anywhere, buddy. So now it's all set to post. I'm going to put it at the end of this episode. So it should be good.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. Yeah,
and
good old Dropbox can be a little wonky sometimes.
yeah, how long did it take you to film this?
The video, we did it in a single afternoon. And it just, we did it. It was a 3-hour shoot. It was at the Pepper Club. And if you look in the back, you see the guys, you see Mae Wilson, you see me, but you see Steve Dennis, the general manager of the English Hotel, behind us doing a cameo in the video as a bartender. And for those of you that don't know, he's my co-host on the television chat show April in Vegas. Hello,
Nice.
Steve. I love you, but not as much as I love Chris right now. Okay.
You're both hot.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Um, but it took us a single afternoon. And I will say, working with the ink spots, these guys are pros. I mean, they've all sang with various groups, they've sang around the world, and actually they're probably the most professional guys I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot of people at this stage in my career. And there are some people that have shocked me by being not so good, and shocked me by being excellent. But the ink spots, I can safely say that going in, I knew that they would be excellent, and they were.
I'm kind of, yeah. I want to ask you, like, I'm kind of, for instance, you were in a major television show, an appearance on My Strange Addiction.
Hmm.
I want to ask you, how did that unexpectedly impact the trajectory of your career? Now, it says an addiction. I don't think ventriloquism is an addiction. It's just a gift and a talent. Then that
Thank
means
you.
any magician or anybody out there, it's an addiction, and it's not. So I don't know why they call it an addiction.
Well, what happened was, that's actually a crazy story. When I was back in New York in those early days, I came up with the idea to get engaged to a guy that proposed on the third date. Dummy. Okay, okay, May. I know you don't like him. So anyway, he made me choose between him and the puppets, and of course, I thought, being a professional ventriloquist would be wonderful, but being a wife or a girlfriend would be better, And so I didn't want to be alone forever, and a lot of my friends had boyfriends, and so I put May under the bed for a year, and I said, I'm going to do this. And let me tell you, Chris, I collected gugs, and not the fun kind like Kim Kardashian has. Okay. So, anyway, after about a year, the relationship was a disaster. And I was the only one that was shocked, let me tell you, that he was a
Mm.
jerk and other things. And so I got May out from under the bed, and I said, May, I miss you. And I said, hey, girl, I miss you too. I said, I miss being a ventriloquist. And I said, hey, girl, do you like him, or do you like supporting that loser forever? Because he couldn't keep a job. It's true.
Hmm.
He was a loser. Okay, May, we know you don't like him. But anyway, I said, May, I miss you. And I said, hey, girl, I just want to see you happy, which means you have to break up with him. And I said, I agree, but I need moral support. So I went in the kitchen on April's arm and I said, listen, loser, April's chosen. She's chosen Law and the rest of the puppets, and not you. And here I have magnifying glass, and I still can't see your Mr. Johnson. Sayonara, sucker. Yeah, and he's still mad at me to this day. Oh well. So anyway, fast forward a year later, I'm using every hour that God sent to be the best ventriloquist that I could be. I'm doing comedy clubs, bowling alleys, and I'm street performing in Brooklyn as a part of a flea market. And this very attractive guy comes up, and he has a camera, and he says, can I take your picture? And I said, sure. Which side? Okay, babe. And so anyway, I said, sure. And so I started to tell him about my fiance, the breakup. You never tell your guy about next, duh. Okay, May, easy. But anyway, I'm telling him about all this, and he says, yeah, my girlfriend doesn't always understand my camera. And I said, girlfriend? And I'm crushed. But it only made me try harder. I know it did, May. So anyway, he took a picture of me. Fast forward a year later, I'm sitting in my apartment, and it's raining, and I've had a bad week, and I get a phone call. Hi, this is, and I forget the name of the production company. Is it true that you left your fiance for your puppets? And I said, yeah, but there's more to the story. She said, our casting assistant's boyfriend took your photo a year ago. And we're wondering, do you want to be on a new TLC show called My Strange Addiction? So I took the phone and I said, of course, it's true, it's true. Where do I need to go? And so the next thing I knew, they were in my apartment filming me and the rest of the collection. And they were filming a typical day. And, when they film something, you never know where it's going to end up. Well, anyway, 2 months later, it's everywhere. And I'm walking in Times Square, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're that puppet girl. Do you have Mae Wilson with you? And I jumped out of the suitcase, like, of course, I'm right here. And that's all she wrote.
Wow, amazing. But I'm surprised they would call it an addiction. I think the one episode I saw with the girl that sniffed glue, that was an addiction. but ventriloquism is not.
Well,
But
thank you for that. Yeah, we don't think so. We've managed to turn this into a passion and a profession. And here's the amazing thing is now because of streaming, the show is everywhere. And so if you go to My Strange Addiction on Paramount Plus, you see a familiar face on the banner. She leaves mine. No, we're on the banner. You're next to me with the rest of the puppets. No, 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 no.
okay,
I
your sound is kind of failing. I don't know why your sound is failing. Are you using a microphone or?
In the you might see a familiar face on the banner. She leaves mine. May. It's both of us. Well, you wouldn't have a gig if it wasn't for moi. May. There's no I in team, but there's a me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing how it all ended up where you became a ventriloquist. And I had to figure out when I was a kid, ventriloquist, vent means voice, I think, and quist or something like that. It's like a Latin or, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it means stomach voice or voice from the stomach. And I
yeah,
talk about it in my book, Don't Read My Lips. And it's available for those of you that don't know on Amazon. And I teach you all the tricks. Well, no. These are my tricks. I taught April everything she knows. Okay,
well, if
easy day.
you, well, I was supposed to get my ventriloquist puppet, but somehow my favorite one isn't in yet. So maybe should get that book and you could sign it for me, autograph it for me.
I would absolutely love that. And as you know, with this Ink Squad song, my autographs have got to be a lot of money. May easy. This is what I got to deal with all the time. But the thing is that because of My Strange Addiction and Paramount Plus and being on the banner, I'm on the banner. April's just sitting next to me. Easy. We had the opportunity to have a special called April Backstage, and it just finished a run on Uncaged TV in the UK. That's a burlesque channel, and now it's available on Vimeo. And so we've been able to do so much because of ventriloquism. I've been able to do so much.
Yep.
And it's because I chose me and my art. And once again, April Backstage is available on Vimeo, and I'm so excited about it. And May Wilson here is working with the ink spots, and you know what's not to love.
Yeah, and that was the one actually paid to see as well. And I was in the kitchen watching it. It was good,
Thank you,
really good.
thank you. And I know I was the best part.
So this question's from May. So May,
Yes.
so
Hello.
beyond
Ask away. Ask all the hard questions.
beyond the laughter, what has been the most profoundly rewarding aspect of building this unique career?
Well, the most profound aspect has been working with the ink spots because moi, little May Wilson from Cocodella, Idaho, is now a part of the Great American Songbook.
Awesome answer. I love that answer, May. Um,
And I make that songbook great. You were doing so well.
so I know that you write all of April's material. So can you walk us through your creative process for writing new material for April, from an initial idea to a polished bit ready for your Vegas show?
Absolutely. I sit and I think, wow, actually, I don't have to write material. I am naturally brilliant. May, you got to work on material with me. I say, April, just let me do the talking and you just stand there, okay? Because I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm vivacious, and that just does the work for moi. And
Oh,
I'm a
May.
true artiste for the ages. Move over, Picasso. Move over, Lady Gaga, because you will be Gaga for Gray Wilson.
So you want to put Gaga in the middle, so it's going to be like May Gaga Wilson. Is that what you want?
No. I want Gaga to go Gaga for moi, because I know she would.
Oh,
You have no humility. Who needs humility? It makes your hair frizzy. Duh.
Well, May, this question is for April. So, April, how do you build a connection with your audience during a live performance? And can you share a particularly funny and unexpected moment that resulted from that interaction?
Oh God, yes. May and I were performing in Las Vegas. We were the special guest stars. I was the special guest star. You were just there. Okay. For 9 months in Las Vegas, and we end our sets by singing Mr. Sandman because our show can be a little salty. And there was a guy who was very drunk, and he was just going on and on and on about losing his virginity to his fifth grade teacher. And he was from a little town, so maybe she was the hottie. Okay, easy, May. But anyway, he was just going on and on and on and being disruptive. And May and I, well, May, you let him know that that wasn't going to fly. That's right. So we end by singing Mr. Sandman. And all of a sudden, as May's singing, he stands up and goes, "Oh my gosh, the puppet sings." And anyway, a few minutes later, his wife drags him out. So we were selling merch outside of the showroom, and May Wilson and I have t-shirts that we sell after every show. And he buys one of our t-shirts and passes out in it. If that's not good advertisement, I don't know what is.
Wow. So, May, every performer faces challenges. Tell us about how a specific show where everything seemed to go wrong and how you and your puppets manager, April, managed to turn it around.
Well, April and I did a show where we were both listed on the contract. And at the end of the show run, they didn't pay more. And I was so crushed. So I
Mm.
said, April, we need to sue. So we ended up taking the promoter on Judge Jerry Springer. And what do you know? Jerry, well, let's just put it this way. He was very attractive. I can't tell you how it went, but everybody took me seriously as a performer, and Jerry said that I was very good at what I did. But before that, you didn't tell him how you really met Jerry. Well, April was on Rachel Ray's Audience Has Talent, and I was with her. April wasn't very good, but I was already a star. So Jerry said, "You're not as good as Terry Shader." But he didn't mean me, he meant April. Well, anyway, he saw us years later on Judge Jerry and complimented moi on how far I had come. So I was the hero as per usual, April.
Why not?
Why not? I mean, who needs enemies when you have May Wilson on your arm? Seriously.
Yeah. April, how do you incorporate contemporary events or social issues in your comedy while ensuring the performance may remains accessible and entertaining for all? May.
Well, what I do is I gotta go see my sugar daddy. That's how I do that. So I'll be back in a minute, Chris. Well, what I do is I read the paper and I make sure that I'm up on current events, and I make sure I roast everybody just a little bit, Chris, because I'm very left leaning, progressive, liberal. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't like labels when it comes to anything in my life. But oh my gosh, who do we have? Hello, hello. This is huge. Yeah, I make fun of the president. That's how I do that. Let me just say that this is huge that I'm on your podcast and my hands are huge.
Pleased to meet you, President Trump.
Pleased to meet you too. So what state are you from, young man?
I'm not from any state. I'm from Toronto, Canada.
The 51st state of the United States. No, no, no. Canada is a sovereign nation. No, it's the 51st state. No,
No.
it's no. It's not a state. It's a separate country. It is a state, country, state, country. This is what I have to deal with. Fake news, fake news. So anyway, we were telling him about May's collaboration with the Ink Spots, and what do you think of May Wilson? Well, she reminds me of my daughter, and that's why I get lascivious with her.
Hmm. Which one? Definitely not. What's her name? What's his daughter's youngest? Anyway.
Well, let's just put it this way. April, you know why I like girls named April? Why is that? Because I like stormy weather.
Right. Ouch. Okay, so you know a lot about April here, President Trump?
Well, I know that she's always wrong.
Okay. So since you know that April is a seasoned performer, how does she handle pre-show nerves and stays motivated, inspired year after year?
Well, I'm going to tell you how April handles pre-show nerves. I tell her, snack out of it, you loser.
Wow.
You know, I was shot. I know you were. Can we stop talking about that? You know, your brush with death. This is all I hear about. Can I tell you something? After I was shot and they took a part out of my ear, I can just say, news of my demise was greatly exaggerated. I wasn't ready to become a car family just yet.
Interesting.
Can I ask you
Wow.
something, Chris?
Sure.
Do you know any attractive women?
No.
Well, I need my fourth wife. You already have a wife. Yes, but I'm always looking for the newest, hottest, youngest foreign import.
No. I had a relationship recently, but it didn't work out. But it
Let me
happens.
tell you something. As somebody that's had 3 wives, you're like me. You're no stranger to pain. Oh my god!
Ouch.
So you're telling us you know about pain. That's right. If I'm ever tortured, I won't crack. Good to know.
That's
Good to know.
mean. Wow. Too bad you don't have the Christopher Walken puppet. I'd be going, wow, wow.
Wow, wow. So President Trump. President Trump, what are your plans? Well, April, I'm changing the name of the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense. Yes, to the department formerly known as the Department of Defense. Our name will be a symbol. Your name will be a symbol. You know, Prince already did that, Mr. President. Okay, we'll just
He was
be the
also known as
Department
the
of
artist.
War. Yes, and I am known as artist. Ooh, I'm the artist. No, no, no. Prince was known as the artist. Well, he's dead now. I'm the artist. Oh my god, that joke went nowhere. Well, you wrote it.
Wow.
So, but it's never dull being me. I'll say that. It's never dull being me. I'm just looking on the floor because I have a dog, and when you have a dog, there's always things on the floor. And as if I turn my back and you take my place. Loser. Who are you calling a loser? Your thing is small. My thing is small. Your thing is big. You know what? You wrote me a hush money check and it bounced. Well, what do I say to that? Well, did you write her a hush money check and it bounced? I gotta go. Loser. See, this is what I live with. Now, isn't it so much better having moi here?
May. So, do you think you and Darcy Lynn's Petunia would get along?
What do you think, May? OMG, April, you have me on the wrong arm. Ah! Okay, I'll put you on the right arm. May, do you think you and Darcy Lynn's Petunia would get along? Of course. She's fabulous, I'm fabulous. So, of course, duh.
How about Lamb Chop? You think you get along with Lamb Chop?
You know what? Lamb Chop, I'm making her into mutton. Her song that never ends has just ended, okay?
Ouch. Ouch. So, May, I know you speak for April. So, I know that you are part of a growing vent family. So, May, how did you create and develop that distinct personality, voice, and what's the role in your storytelling that April helps you with it?
Well, the way that I developed the strength, personality, and voice is I was always fabulous. And it just took April how long to discover it? Okay, well, actually, the way we developed it was my sister had a Charlie McCarthy figure that she wasn't using that was just sitting there. And everybody kept saying to me, April, you need a figure that looks like you. So my great aunt Helen Jones remade Charlie McCarthy into Mae Wilson. Yes, I used to be a guy. I was trans before it was cool. I hope I'm not
Whoa.
canceled now. Oops. Oh, May, easy, easy. But anyway, yeah. So that was the first Mae Wilson, and so she kept getting plastic surgery. Yes, just like Kathy Griffin, except I have a heck of a lot more human skin. Okay. So anyway, um, but the way I developed Mae Wilson's backstory was at the time I was designing her, she was based off of two people. One was a girl that was really mean to me. That what was the song she used to sing? April's got no friends. April's got no friends. And the other was a girl that was a friend of mine named Erin Kelly. And Erin was a cheerleader, very cool lady, still cool. We're still friends. And she was friends with everyone. And Erin's goal in life was to marry a rich doctor, and she drove a red convertible everywhere. And one day I'm talking to her and she drives off, and this guy behind us says, you ought to get yourself one of those. And so those were the inspirations for Mae Wilson.
And also Mae West as well, because you look a little bit familiar like Mae West. Remember, she's one of, I love Mae
Yes,
West. She was awesome.
thank you. Come up and see me sometime, any
Yeah.
old time. How did you do that? Well, you did that. Okay. Yes. Well, goodness had nothing to do with it, dearie. Wait, you turned into Mae West again? I do that every once in a while, April. Oh, wow. Okay, how did you do that? Well, you see, I'm a textile American, which means I'm magic. When I'm good, I'm very good. But like when I'm good, I'm even gooder. Holla.
So I want to. I don't know if you remember a ventriloquist by the name of Waylon Flowers and Madam,
Yes, very
but he didn't.
well.
He didn't do ventriloquism. He just he actually moved his lips quite a lot. What was that all
Yeah,
about?
well, he was a puppeteer, and Madam now lives in the Vent Haven Museum, but Wayland used to carry Madam everywhere with him.
Mm.
And believe it or not, when I lived in New York City, and Wayland was long passed away by this point, he lived downtown and he would take Madam into bars. He would sit on the stoop with Madam. But Madam and Wayland are huge inspirations for us. And one of the things I love about the character of Madam is everybody is there to see Madam. And she also was instrumental in the development of May because everybody's there to see May, you know? And the other thing is that when Madam is on his arm, Madam's alive at all times. And I think that Wayland Flowers was probably one of the greatest puppeteers to ever live. And it's a shame that he was not with us longer.
Yeah, I really liked him. I used to remember watching him quite a bit. Him and Rip Taylor, of course. Rip Taylor is not a ventriloquist, but his acts were kind of weird. And the one that what's it? Ron, I forget his name, but he used to have
Oh,
a
Ron Lucas. Yes, he had a show in England, and Ron Lucas was an American that was a much bigger deal in England. And Ron Lucas was also an early inspiration for me. And he wrote a manual that really helped when I was learning, and I'm self-taught, but it taught me a few tricks. And he was a contemporary of Jeff Dunham's, and I think Jeff is very talented, and he might be the greatest ventriloquist of our generation. But I think Ron Lucas is right up there with him.
is it Ron Lucas, the one that carried the llama one on the side, the one with the llama?
Yes, that would be Ron Lucas, and
That was Ron
uh,
Lucas.
Yes, and another one from your backyard is Cy Leonard, who is very good. Russ Lewis, who's also very good, was on Ed Sullivan several times, and these are people that, some of these people I've had the pleasure of getting to know because the ventriloquist community is very small. And what do you say to all them, May? Oh, they've had the pleasure to get to know moi. Easy, May. This is again your self-esteem runneth over.
I think besides you, I think the most funniest is Paul Zerden and a little baby, the one that can't pronounce ventriloquism. He goes trill loquist, and then it's so funny. It's hilarious.
Yes, and actually, funny story about Paul Zerden. When I was a teenager, and I was on a site for ventriloquists, and I met several from around the world. I wrote Paul Zerden a letter. I sent him an email and I said, "Hi, my name's April Brucker, and I want to be a ventriloquist." And he wrote me back, and it was very sweet and it was very nice. And it's so wonderful when older ventriloquists write to younger vents and encourage them, because it's what actually keeps the art form alive, in my opinion.
Yeah, my dad and I love Senor Wences. He was really good too.
Yeah,
Um,
and actually, I have a character that's a grill, and he has a little guy inside him, and you'll see him. You'll see them, Gordy and Vern. They're actually Senor Vences inspired, because the story behind Senor Vences' puppets, and this is kind of funny, is the reason they were like this, and it was the guy in the head, is early in his career, he was doing shows and there was a train accident and his puppets were destroyed and the
oh,
show must go on, and so he had to improvise, but he was a huge inspiration. And so now I have a grill and a little man living inside the grill who are based off of Senor Vences and Paco. And while it's not, it's a different concept entirely, Senor Vences has inspired all of us, really.
so May keeps shaking her head like this. No, I don't agree with you. No, no. I
Well,
love it.
when I hear open the box, I think of something else. And when I hear close the locks, I think, oh, I'm not going to get paid tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
not what I expected to hear out of you. Well, I'm going to on your arm. You've been ignoring me. What did you want?
did you ever meet Terry Fader at all, April?
I've never met Terry in person, but I've met Terry online. And very nice guy.
Yeah. So, okay, this is not for you, May, unless you know how you were built. But April, what are the key considerations and steps involved in designing and building a new puppet from initial sketch to functional performance partner? And you mentioned it about how May was
I got to
created.
go see my sugar daddy again, but I'll be back. Okay,
Oh,
fine. Thank God.
didn't like that question.
Well, she just gets a little salty because she thinks she's real. But I have several different ways that I have puppets built, and this is an excellent question. I She was designed by Jeff Dunham's puppet maker, Mary Ann Taylor. May Wilson was. She's a matte puppet.
Wow.
Um, Donald J. Tramp was designed in Scotland by a company called Pictures to Puppets, and Gordy the Grill and Vern. Um, Gordy was a play school grill that I hollowed out with some help. I had some help. My manager actually helped me with that. Clinton Billups is very handy. And the little guy in there, Vern, was ordered online and we rigged that. Uh, but a lot of times I'll find puppets and I'll say, I want this puppet to be a part of my home, or I'll have it designed. Because one thing about me is everything's up here. I have no visual imagination. Everything's up here. The brain's always going, but you
Mm,
ask me to draw, it's stick figures.
wow.
But it makes me feel better because Henson really didn't have a visual imagination either. When he needed something designed, he would squiggle it and tell his team, "This is what I want," and bam. And while he made some of the earlier puppets because he did so by design, um, Henson got better as he aged at farming it out. And he admitted, "I'm an idea guy and I'm an idea person. I have an MFA in creative writing. I write and create, but if you want something sketched, I'm not your person."
So, how many puppets do you actually have? Can we call them puppets? Because when I think of puppets, I think of hand puppets and ooh. Oh,
You can call them puppets. They're not here. They'll never know.
okay,
Uh, but
puppets.
I have 38 children.
38.
Yes.
Do you use them all?
I use them all in various capacities. Some were in the special, April Backstage on Vimeo. Some make music like Mae Wilson with the world famous ink spots, and that's the way it is. Uh, some I do videos with, some I do children's shows with, some I do sports related content with, like Vern Duffy and Gordy Burns or Gordy the Grill. Everybody has a first and last name. I can't, apparently they don't want to give the social security numbers, but I'm relieved because it means that my puppets aren't taxpayers. But that doesn't, stifle Donald J. Trump or his dreams. It does not having a social security number stifle you, Mr. President? Would you like to weigh in on that? Does that stifle you, Mr. President? Not at all. Taxes are for the poor people, and I don't pay taxes. There we go. So
You're hilarious. That's
thank you.
funny.
Thank
38
you.
puppets. So besides Donald Trump and Biden, how many other male puppets do you have?
Oh gosh, I have Dwayne Newton. I have,
Well, Dwayne Newton, I met him. Yeah.
yes, I have Vinny. I have, I'd say half are men, half are women. I try to keep it balanced.
I totally agree with that. So, what is the legacy you hope to leave in the world of entertainment and for future performers?
Um, I hope to leave a legacy of really good work. Right now, it's been a joy for Mae Wilson to be able to collaborate with the Ink Spots because I'm now a part of the quote unquote Great American Songbook. And I want to be a part of a legacy that's timeless. And this is helping me do that. And these guys are part of a legacy that's timeless, but also I want to be a part of a legacy of somebody that's a true professional and entertainer, but I also want to be a class act on stage and off. And I want to be somebody that my nieces, Peaches and Puddin, can be proud of.
I love that answer. Great answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who is your ultimate collaboration? Who would you want to be on the stage with?
Oh gosh, so many people. But would be my ultimate collaborations are people that I share the stage with constantly. And the Ink Spots were actually one of my ultimate collaborations, and I got it. So I wouldn't mind Mae Wilson doing projects with Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars and Cardi B or any of them, but also Celine Dion and anybody. But the Ink Spots so far have been my pinnacle because not only would my grandparents be proud if they were here, but I feel like, again, I'm part of something that's timeless.
Yeah, and you Mae Wilson is like made out of Mae West, and I think you said Charlie McCarthy, which I think is a joke, but oh well.
Actually, the first was a Charlie McCarthy that my great aunt Helen had flipped. But, Charlie McCarthy, Edgar Bergen was a radio superstar. He was the first ventriloquist superstar. And Sherry Lewis was a talented lady. Not only was she a great ventriloquist, she was a great actress, a great singer, and she wrote an episode of Star Trek. And, I want to be somebody who I just want to do good work.
I think you're doing great work already, April.
Thank you, but I want to continue to do that. And I feel like, if I was to go back in time to be 20 years old again, I feel like at 20, I was like, oh my God, I got to get there. I got to get there. I feel like now I'm starting to really scratch the surface. And this truly is a marathon and not a sprint, where my work up to this point has been good. And now it's starting to be great. So,
Yeah. So if let's say you had a chance to do a Sabrina Carpenter puppet, would you give her a name? What would her name be? Because you have Mae West, you have Donald Trump, you have
I don't need a Sabrina Carpenter. I have Mae Wilson, but I won't tell her you said so.
To 38, there's
May.
nothing. You have 38 puppets. There's nothing wrong with having 39, 40, 41. Oh, hi,
There
May.
can only be one superstar in the family. Sabrina
Hi, May.
Carpenter can have a puppet of moi. This is what I deal with. I told you, you know.
I love it. I love it. I'm so happy you're back on the show. Yeah, you actually.
Thank you. It was getting a little static without me.
You made my evening.
Thank you, and you made mine, so we're even.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. So basically.
And by the way, I would like to collaborate with Sabrina Carpenter if you're watching.
Sabrina, did you hear that? Just kidding.
Yes, Sabrina, did you hear that?
Wow. I love that. That's awesome. Hey, wait a minute. You have Donald Trump. You don't have his wife puppet. Oh, sorry. That's Mae Wilson. Never mind.
Well, let's just put it this way. I would never marry him. That hush money check bounced. Okay.
You're funny. Too funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let's end this, but we'll still talk. Just want to put an ending to this. Hold on. Thank you so much, April and Mae Wilson, for being on the show. Really appreciate it. And everyone, we're gonna play. Actually, let's do that again. Sorry. All right. Thank you so much, April and Mae Wilson, for being on the show. Really appreciate that, everyone. We're going to play the one-of-a-kind song by America's leading female ventriloquist, April Brucker, from the Ink Spots, That's the Way It Is. Boom. Okay, and then it plays. So there we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Mwah.
Mwah. And I think we'll end it there. But yeah, I'm so happy about this. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
One second. I'm just going to end it for a minute. Bye, April.
Okay.
Stay right there. Bye, April. See ya.
Yeah.
I tremble at your touch. I know I should, but that's the way it is. I want you oh so much. I know I should, but that's the way it is. I can see so clearly that we are worlds apart. But oh, when you are near me, I can't see beyond my heart. I worship at your shrine. You said I shouldn't, but that's the way it is. I begged you to be mine. I said I wouldn't, but that's the way it is.
I love you, darling, forever, though it may never be. Honey child, that's the way it is for a doggone guy like me.
Oh, I tremble at your touch. I know I shouldn't, but that's the way it is. I want you oh so much. I know I shouldn't, but that's the way it is. I can see so clearly that we are worlds apart. But oh, when you are near me, I can't see beyond my heart. I worship at your shrine. You said I shouldn't, but that's the way it is. I begged you to be mine. I said I wouldn't, but that's the way it is. I'll love you forever, though it may never